Frederick R. Bernard once said, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," and in the case of this video, he was right. For you see, fellow watchers, this one photograph holds a dark secret, a secret that Deck 9 is hiding about the game and specifically Chloe's fate. Now before this video starts, I just want to let you all know that this is the video I wanted to originally make. If any of you have seen the previous one, I made a video about Chloe's fate, but I didn't have enough time to properly make it how I wanted, so I had to settle for a mini version. This is a more extended version of what I discussed and some new things that I discovered, which will shock you. So without further ado, let's get started. When the reveal trailer for Life is Strange Double Exposure came out, fans speculated whether or not Chloe Price would be in the game. The trailer heavily focused on Max Caulfield, the main protagonist of the first Life is Strange, and how she not only made a return, but has a new set of powers to boot. Recently, the live stream came out from Deck 9, not only showing us the new game, but going into great detail about what it's about, the cast of characters, Max's new powers, and most importantly, how player choice matters in this game. Yet the one thing it seemed to leave out, quite intentionally I believe, is Chloe Price. Now we do see a brief photo of her and we get a bit of dialogue conversation with Safi about who Chloe is.
Is this about the blue-haired girl whose picture you keep in your wallet?
Wait, you snooped in my wallet?
Stop deflecting. The girl with the blue hair. What's the deal with you two?
An excellent question, Safi. What is the deal between Max and Chloe? Now, in my previous video I uploaded, I made the point of how this dialogue makes no sense. And I'm not talking about the way Safi is speaking. I'm talking about the options we get. Right here we see, "We were just friends," or "We were high school sweethearts." Now to add a bit of context here, Max is keeping to herself. She is a closed book and she's only known Safi for approximately 6 months. And naturally, Safi wants to know more about Max. Now this is where our choices come into play. You see, there is no correct ending for this game. The developers have stated that we will get to pick one of the two main endings and pick up from there. Which means "we were" is applying to Chloe in past tense. She's dead. In this scene right here, we have learned that we are seeing footage from the Sacrifice Chloe ending. If Chloe is however alive, I do believe this would change from "we were" to "we are." Because Deck 9, as they stated, they care about fans' choices, they respect it. They've made this game that fans didn't even need to play the first one to jump right in. Not only that, apparently we will be able to import our choices from the previous Life is Strange, or Life is Strange 1. But come on, with Max Caulfield, are you really going to call this Life is Strange 4 and not see it as a continuation of her story? And that is what my previous video was all about. I explained my theories on how if Chloe is alive, then the words "we were" would be changed to "we are." And I uploaded the video and went along my way. As I had work, I couldn't focus too much on the video. But something was bugging me. I couldn't explain what it was, but I knew it had something to do with the reveal livestream. So I kept watching it, rewatching it, trying to figure out what is wrong. And that's when I realized the photo of Chloe is wrong. I didn't know what it was, but there was something off about that photo. And once I realized it, it blew my mind. And this quote I kid you not, immediately popped into my head once the realization came.
So how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? Well, do you know? It's easy. You stick it right in front of him, right under his long, pointy nose, and wait.
Do you get it now? That photo is from the Sacrifice Chloe timeline. And it makes perfect sense too. Think about it. Why would Max have a photo like that if Chloe was alive? It wouldn't make any sense, right? In fact, let's take a look at another photo of Max and Chloe. Now this photo right here is from Life is Strange 2 episode 5. When you start up Life is Strange 2, you're given the option. Did you sacrifice Chloe or did you sacrifice Arcadia Bay? Now, if you chose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, regardless of your choice in the beginning, you'll meet up with a familiar face, David, from Life is Strange 1, Chloe's stepdad. Now, we get a bit of some details as to what Max and Chloe have been up to after the storm. We know that they're still traveling together. We know that Max is submitting photos to art galleries because she wants to be a professional photographer. We learn about this small nugget of information from David when he's on the phone call with Chloe. Now, we don't hear Chloe's voice, we just hear David, but it's enough for us to know what Max and Chloe have been up to. And take a look at this photo. We see that Chloe has not only grown out her hair long, but she's gotten rid of the hair dye. Her hair is its original color. Now, why is that? Why is it we get this photo from Life is Strange 2, yet in Life is Strange Double Exposure, we have an old photo of Chloe? And in fact, that raises another question. Where did that photo come from? Well, that's something I was pondering while I was working and before I was working, and that photo, we've seen it before in Life is Strange 1. Not directly, but we've seen it. Now, towards the end of episode 3 of Life is Strange 1, Max discovers her newest and arguably the most OP power in all of Life is Strange. Now, as we've only seen glimpses of Max's new power in Double Exposure, I say arguably, because her powers in there could be even more powerful than her newest power here, which is the ability to travel years into the past, or even a decade, by focusing on a photograph. Now, this power is not without its limits. Not only can Max stay in her past body for a limited time, she only has a limited access of area. So she took the photo in Chloe's house, downstairs in the kitchen area. So she can only explore that part. She can't go off and say, go to the park or go to the mall. She is confined within a certain space. And this is one of the things I like about Life is Strange 1. They give you a character that's OP, but at the same time, you have limits. And that's what I like. I don't like when a character's OP with no weakness. But getting back on topic. The reason I'm bringing this up is because when Max does something to change the past, she will go back to the present like that. And to her, it's only a few seconds, while her body stays on autopilot. And it's during these few seconds that we catch a glimpse, and I assume Max does too, of the past changing before our eyes. And it's one of these changes that gives us the origin of the photograph from the reveal stream. Now, if you choose to go back in time and sacrifice Chloe, we will get a brief montage, a rather sad montage to be exact, of all our time spent with Chloe being erased as it never happened due to her death. In one of these montages, towards the very end, right before Max gets back into her body, we see her looking at a bunch of photographs scattered on the floor and one in her hand. So this is where Max would have found that photo of Chloe. Now the question is, how did she get her hands on these photographs? It's stated in Life is Strange episode 1 that Max had been attending Blackwell for 3 months, and she hadn't visited Chloe in all that time. They only run into each other they literally run into each other when Nathan is threatening Max and then starts beating the shit out of Warren. Technically, Max's first encounter with Chloe was in the bathroom, but she didn't know it was her at the time, and Chloe didn't know Max was there. So this answers when Max would have gotten that photo of Chloe. It had to come from one of these albums, and it had to have been this part of the story, as Max would be reminiscing about Chloe. At least the autopilot Max is. Now we know where Max got the photo, but where did the photo albums come from? Well, they came from Joyce, of course, and I can prove it. In episode 3, Joyce and Chloe will reminisce about the past, and they bring up Rachel Amber. And it's during this time that Max is having breakfast that Joyce brings over a photo album. Now here, it's regardless whether or not this is the exact photo book that has the picture of Chloe in it, but we do know the photo would come from Joyce. There's no other place Max could have gotten it from. I think when we see in one of the flashbacks, right before the one where Max is looking at the photos, we see Joyce crying, David's with her, and Max is trying to console her. And it's at this point Max would have gotten her hands on a few photo books, which we then see in the next shot, she's looking through them all. Now, who is it that took the photo of Chloe? Now, I don't believe it was Joyce. In fact, one name comes to mind, and that person is Rachel Amber. Now, the reason I believe it's Rachel is because of the timeline of Before the Storm and before the events of Life is Strange 1. Now, Before the Storm takes place 3 years before Life is Strange 1. And Chloe does not have her blue hair and tats yet. Now, she does get the blue streak towards the very end of the game, episode 3 to be exact. And we don't see her with fully blue hair and her tattoo right at the very end. Once you finish the game, they show a little montage of what's going on, the impact your choices had, and we see Chloe and Rachel in the junkyard, and they look how we expect them to look like. I mean, Chloe looks like how she does in Life is Strange 1, and Rachel looks like, Rachel. And speaking of Rachel, she was Chloe's rock after Max went no contact for 5 years, though technically Before the Storm, Max and Chloe will have a bit of messages going back and forth, but you know what I mean, it was 5 years without any physical contact. There was no getting together, like visiting each other on holidays, nothing. So I do believe that Rachel was the one that took the photo. Now the question is, when does it take place? Now, the events of Life is Strange 1 take place in 2013 in October. Rachel Amber goes missing in, I believe, April 22nd. Yes, that's it. April 22nd, Rachel Amber goes missing. So, I have to guess that this photo would have had to been taken, I believe it was taken the same year, 2013, but early 2013. Based on this picture you can see of Chloe, both of them look, the one on the left is 16, the one on the right is 19. At least I can see the difference in age. I don't know about any of you, but I can. And that, my friends, is the origin of Chloe's picture. And now that we got that out of the way, we need to discuss the next thing. If the picture of Chloe and the way Safi talks about Chloe implies that she's dead, then why aren't we seeing footage where it's implied that Chloe's alive? What is Deck 9 trying to hide? One of my commenters, Malik Zarif, said, "I hope they're just hiding Chloe off screen. It would be so stupid if they get rid of our choices." And that got me thinking, what if they are? What if the reason that they're showing us this version of Life is Strange where Chloe is dead is because Chloe will have, depending on if she's with Max, whether as a friend or more, if she's alive, then she may play a big part in the story. But that's something I plan to cover in a part 2 of this video. So that's it for this video. I'm hoping I can upload a part 2 in a day, but it might take me 2 days as I have a busy schedule. But let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below, and let me know about any theories you have, and I'll see you on the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.